we are as a people inherently and historically opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.
All right. Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. It's April Fool's Day. I had an April Fool's prank planned, but I'm like, no, I don't think I'm gonna do it. Just because I hadn't been around for a while. It's alright though. I'm not going anywhere, I've been content creating for a decade. I will be doing it for longer, So, been gone for, hang on. Sorry, man, that stupid dog, dude. This is like the worst intro ever. I almost want to just restart. Every time I just start, it's like somebody starts yelling, something, slamming doors. It's crazy. Anyways, where the fuck have I been? So I've had a crazy ass week, dude. Haven't been feeling well, haven't been sleeping right. My car fucked up. I took it to the shop. It died like twice. And I'm like, fuck. So I'm thinking it's alternator. And I don't know if you guys have noticed how the price of literally everything has gone up. So I've had alternator go out before. I've replaced alternators in the past and it's cost me like $600. If you take it to a shop. If you take it to a guy it only costs you like $300, But this was way back in the day, whenever I've had to replace alternators. So I go up there and they're like, yeah, it's probably alternator. And I'm like, I figured. And I'm like, can I get just kind of a range of how much it's going to cost? And they're like, yeah, hang on, you're not going to like it. And I'm like, I figured. The dude comes back after talking to the mechanic. They're like, yeah, $15,000. Or $1,500, sorry, not $15,000. $1,500. So that fucking stressed me out. And then trying to figure out how the fuck I'm going to get to and from work. Like I said, I hadn't been feeling good. So, in between that, I dumped an ashtray in my bathroom trash, and I'm sitting there rolling cigarettes, and I just get this whiff of, like, horrible smoke. And I turn around, and there's just smoke billowing out of the bathroom. Luckily, I bought this fancy-ass metal trash can years ago. If it was plastic, it would have melted. The bathroom would have caught on fire. But I bought this nice-ass trash bin. Like, made of, like, metal. Like, it was from Hobby Lobby, And, luckily, that kept the fire, like, contained. I rushed it outside, started dumping water on it. The whole room was just billowing in smoke, dude. And it was so funny, like, poor Lily, the little black kitten we got, she's just, like, zoned out, like, like, just gonna let herself burn to death. I, like, pushed her out, and now she's been mad. She thinks that I was being mean, and it's like, she hasn't come back in the room in days, but, yeah. But yeah, so that was my exciting week. I don't know. It was just, I just missed a couple days of work, been stressing about work. Which my boss said it's all good, but it aggravates me, you know, because I really am not the type of person who just likes to miss work. You know, you guys know me. I like picking up overtime, which I've noticed is getting harder to do, getting older. But I have a Buy Me a Coffee account set up in the link below if you'd like to donate to the channel. It helps the channel. Bookmarks came in. So, it's a little blurry. Yeah, it's just coming up blurry. But anyways, it's a picture of a rabbit. A girl rabbit, like a steampunk outfit. She's got a saber and a pistol. It says Conspiracy Corner Podcast. Follow the White Rabbits. And then at the bottom, it says thanks for tuning in. So if you donate to the channel, I snail mail you a bookmark. And we have a couple bumper stickers left, so anyone who makes a donation within the next future will get both a sticker and a bookmark. By the way, I do owe somebody, a frequent donator. I'm going to automatically send him a bookmark. I just have to remember to do it. But let's get on with the show. So you guys know me. I don't always do this. I don't have a subscription or anything, but every now and then on a slow night at work, we have a paper stand, and I used to work for the paper, used to write articles, used to sell papers. I like physical paper media. For one, they can't alter it. Two, I feel like the smaller news publishers are less corrupt and less controlled by the mainstream. You know what I mean? As far as like Fox, CNN, like the big ones, you know. But I was already gonna do a episode on this because this is ridiculous, dude. Here's the image for it. Trump meeting with the Prime Minister of Japan. I guess it was a female who replaced Abe. Her name is Sanae Takaichi. And I seen this, and the shit that he said was just like mind-blowing to me. Trump, I have to say, just says crazy shit in general, which sometimes it's amusing, and sometimes now that I've like seen how he tried to protect the Epstein list from getting released, Operation Warp Speed, just the evilness of his ways. Like, sometimes I like he'll just say something and he's trying to be funny, and I'm just like, no, you're just an idiot. This was one of those that was just like crazy to me. And by the way, I'm not like some like super TDS guy, which if you're still using that term after the whole Epstein shenanigans, of him just like trying his hardest not to release these files, then I don't know what to tell you. And like, if you're still MAGA at this point, and this is coming from someone who voted for him, like, when he was running against Biden, I voted for him. Like, the one and only time I voted in my life. Yeah. Like, I was a QAnon guy years ago. But I mean, if you're still like MAGA and QAnon at this point, like, you are literally fucking hopeless. Like, you are to the point of, I don't think there's any saving you from this cult, you know. But we're gonna go through this article. And by the way, I picked up 2 papers because there was some true crime shit that I want to cover. Because you guys know me, I do like covering true crime and crazy ass stories. So I will cover those someday. So in Japan, Trump's Pearl Harbor joke elicits scorn and dismay. President Donald Trump's meeting with Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi at the White House was the talk of Japan on Friday. This was fairly recent too, by the way. It's not super old news, but it happened like sometime, I think it was last week or something. I just wanted to comment on it. But the focus wasn't just on the investment deals and geopolitics. It was on Trump's Pearl Harbor joke. Yeah, he joked about Pearl Harbor. And by the way, I do see what he was saying. And he's kind of not wrong on what he says with this comment. But still, it's just like, bro. Like, the prime minister, she looks young enough to, it's like, she had nothing to do with Pearl Harbor. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when someone brings up slavery, like a black person brings up slavery to a white person. It kind of pisses you off because it's like, I can't help that my great-great-great-great-grandpa beat up your great-great-great-grandpa. Has nothing to do with me, asshole. And no, I don't believe I should be paying you reparations. I didn't fucking do it. You know, it's one of those type of things. In the Oval Office on Thursday, the president made the crack while explaining why he did not give Japan advance notice on the attack of Iran. We wanted surprise, which, by the way, that makes sense. If you're going to do a military strike on someone, why the fuck would you want them to know? You're not going to tell other countries what you're about to do because you don't know if there's spies in those other countries. You know what I mean? You're going to keep that on the DL, you know, unless you're actually working with those other countries. Like if Japan was like, hey, if Trump had told her and they're like, yeah, we'll help you. We'll do it on the same day. We'll just both come in, you know, a pincer attack, you know. But no, it was just us bombing them in Israel. So it's like, yeah, you don't need to fucking know what we're doing. Not that I agree with the war, but militarily it makes sense if you're looking at it like a chess game, you know. Because you never know if they got spies or something who would tell Iran what we're about to fucking do. We wanted surprise, he said, with Takaichi seated next to him. Who knows better about surprise than Japan, okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor, okay, right? And then he, like, laughs. First of all, I'm not, like, a stand-up comedian, but I do make people laugh, like coworkers and shit. I'm always cracking people up. My humor is very dark. It's more like, I got, like, Bill Hicks style humor, you know what I mean? Of, like, I don't get, if I'm in, like, a room full of, like, just dumb people, they're just gonna look at me with the sideways dog head of, like, I don't get it. Is he fucking around? You know, like, it's like, yes, it's called a joke, but it's a joke that makes you think. It's not even a good joke. Like, just the way that it's laid out. Who knows why they would about surprise better than Japan? I mean, that part's good. So he starts out okay, and then he goes, okay, why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay, right? Because, was he even alive during Pearl Harbor? I know he's 79, but was he even alive during Pearl Harbor? I don't think so. So, like, what are you talking about, dude? You're not even making sense. Which, there has been some shit, man, like, I think he's going senile. Not as bad as, like, Joe Biden was, but I mean, he's 79 fucking years old last time I checked, so, and we've seen the bruising on the hands. We've covered it on the channel. I can't remember the name of the episode, but if you're listening on Spotify, I'll try to link it below. But hey, if you're on YouTube, I have a Donald Trump playlist. You can find it in there. If you don't know the details on his health decline, I did a whole episode on it. I think he's getting senile. I mean, the dude eats McDonald's and chugs Diet Cokes all day. Like, he's not healthy, dude. There was scattered laughter in the crowd of officials and journalists. Takaichi widened her eyes. Yeah, dude, her face was priceless, man. Go look at the actual clip. It's fucking insane. Widened her eyes and looked in the direction of the Japanese reporter who asked the question. She did not speak, sitting with her arms crossed. Many Japanese scholars, politicians, and commentators were aghast. Some criticized Trump, saying he would not have revived a painful World War II chapter so casually. Others disrespected their anger, directed their anger at Takaichi, saying she should have spoken up. I don't understand that one. Like, I guess they don't know much about Japanese culture, but I feel like Japanese are like some of the most reserved people out there, just very quiet, let shit roll over them, like over their back, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're badasses. Look at the samurai and shit. Look at Pearl Harbor. But for the most part, I feel like they're very reserved people, that they're just kind of like, okay, you know, whatever, I'll let that one go. You know, that little comment. Still, others say they were concerned that it might harm relations between Japan and the United States. So, continue on 4A. This is from Herald Leader, too. Their papers, I mean, they're not bad. I pick them up every now and then. This one was a little bit on the pricier side because it was like a Sunday edition. Yeah. So, Sundays, it's more expensive, but... and I only pick them up if I see a good article, honestly. So, 4A... But I like to support paper journalism too, because it's going extinct. I'm like that weirdo Kenneth Anger. I collect old papers if I find good articles and shit, because it's a piece of history, and we know how they like to alter history and rewrite our history. I mean, look at Tartaria. That's the perfect fucking example, you know? And they want us to get rid of paper media in general. Plus, who knows, man, this paper might be worth something someday. Like, older papers with historical shit in them are worth usually money in the future. Like, I have an old JFK one. It's in a tube, rolled up and preserved. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to preserve them, but that's what it's in. But it was like on the assassination of JFK. That thing might be worth something now, or possibly worth something further along in the future. Not that I would want to sell it, but if it came to like having to eat, you know, it would be one of those things of like, hey boo boo, can we sell this so we can like stop starving, you know? Toru Tamagawa, a commentator for the broadcaster TV Asahi, said on a morning show that the comment showed an unpleasant side of President Donald Trump. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of a piece of not really kind of, he's just at this point a piece of shit. And like I said before, you blow up my comment section with, oh, you got TDS, like, that word is kind of out of date. It's pretty certain he's allegedly a pedophile at this point and protecting pedophiles and a scumbag for America. I'm sorry. And this is coming from someone who supported and voted for him, so I learned the error of my ways. He doesn't care at all that the Japanese Prime Minister is sitting next to him, he said. Izuru Makihara, a professor of Japanese politics at the University of Tokyo, said in an interview that many Japanese would probably shrug off the joke, seeing it as just another over-the-top remark by Trump. It depends. I don't know. I find, like, the humor in, like, animes and manga hilarious, a lot of it. I'm assuming they would have a good enough sense of humor to just go, okay, that's Trump just being a fucking moron, you know. Some of it's kind of badass. Like, the other day there was a reporter who wrote hit pieces on him, and I've never seen a president do this, but he was like walking by in a trench coat, and he seen him, and he just went, pointed at him and flipped him the fucking bird. And I ain't gonna lie, this is me still not liking Trump, but to see a president do that, I'm like, okay, that was kind of badass. You know, the only thing I can compare that to would be like one time Obama literally kicked his way through a door in the White House after, because like he was real reserved and like professional during the entire speech, but you could tell he was pissed. And then he just turns, walks over to a door, and just literally kicks through it. I mean, hard, dude, and just walks through the door. And I was like, that was fucking badass, you know. When Trump does shit like that, I'm like, that's cool, you know. And then he said, he's dropped F-bombs and everything else, and I've never seen a president do that, like on television or to reporters. Normally they don't do that unless they're like behind closed doors talking to someone on the phone, which they have like some awesome JFK ones out there on YouTube that came out years afterwards. There's I think a Lyndon B. Johnson one that's hilarious, where he's just cussing up a storm. The JFK ones are my favorite. I listen to those every now and then, of JFK just cussing people out on the phone. And it's fucking awesome. I love it. Because you don't see that on TV, you know. You just see the whole, like, professional side, you know. But he added, this is something that absolutely shouldn't be said. He might start saying things like, Hiroshima and Nagasaki were fine. Weren't they? That wouldn't surprise me if Trump said that. I'm not gonna lie. It wouldn't surprise me in the least bit. For Japanese people, we can't accept that. In Japan, the perception of the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941. I didn't realize it was in December, I guess because where it's in Hawaii and everything's so like bright and sunny, and yeah, I don't even think it would snow in Hawaii. It's so, yeah, so you just assume it's like during the summer or something. Which led the United States into World War II is complicated. Some nationalists and older generations of Japanese still defend the assault as a necessary response to diplomatic bullying by the United States, describing the war as unavoidable. I don't really have a comment on that because I'm not super well versed in Pearl Harbor. I do know that the president at the time allowed it to happen. It was kind of like 9/11, you know? Yeah, he knew Pearl Harbor was going to get hit. And he literally allowed it to happen so that way we could go into war and try out our new toys. Our new atomic bombs. If you believe in nuclear bombs. But I think they were just regular fire blast bombs, but just like badass ones, you know? In the post-war era, when Japan officially adopted pacifism, there was more criticism on the attack. Still, interest in Pearl Harbor was waned among younger Japanese who see the episode as remote and irrelevant or are unaware. Honestly, that's kind of how we are now. Like, they came out with a Pearl Harbor, well, our generation, 90s kids, they came out with a Pearl Harbor movie in like the early 2000s. Andy, my buddy, Andy Pittman, loved that movie. He would tell me about it all the time. Like, it was a big movie at the time. I don't think I was allowed to watch it because it was like rated R and my parents were real strict, but and I'm guessing there's probably sex scenes in it. That was really the only interest that like my generation, 90s kids had. I would say that movie sparked a lot of interest in it, but it was for that short-lived amount of time. Kind of like Titanic. Like, to this day, I'm still interested in Titanic, but like everyone at the time of the Titanic movie was like Titanic history crazy. You know, like everyone was interested in Titanic again. I don't know. From the movie. My mom became obsessed with it. So, Trump's remarks surprised many people in Japan who had grown accustomed to American presidents avoiding harsh discussion of Pearl Harbor. His predecessors have instead focused on deepening ties with Japan, America's ally since the end of World War II. Takaichi, who worked hard during the visit to stay on Trump's good side, drew criticism for not saying something about the joke and for her attempts to curry flavor for the president at dinner on Thursday. Well, it just said that they kind of like literally instilled pacifism after World War II on themselves. They took like kind of like, hey, we're going to try to be more pacifist. So that makes sense. Complimented Trump's looks. She complimented Trump's look at dinner on Thursday, and earlier in the day she told him, I firmly believe it is only you, Donald, who could achieve peace across the world. Okay. If that's a real statement, that's fucking insane, because this dude is literally on the verge of like causing World War III. So I don't, this is fucking crazy. Like, is the bitch nuts? Hitoshi Tanaka, a former diplomat, Tanaka. If you know what I'm referencing, dude. Alien penis hands. Maybe. Hit me up in the comments if you know the Tanaka. Don't give him a handshake. He'll fill it full of cum, dude. Okay. Hitoshi Tanaka, a former diplomat, wrote on the social platform X that Takaichi's approach was bizarre and embarrassing. It's a relationship between heads of state, he wrote. While some flattery is fine, if it's overdone, it ends up repulsing the onlookers. Yeah. Commentators, I'm sure like that pretty much shut. I've seen the clip, but I haven't seen like the entire press meeting, but I'm sure like that kind of just ruined the mood for the room, like in some reporters where they are more pacifist of a culture, we're like, oh, I don't even want to ask my question now, you know. Commentators found fault not just with Trump and Takaichi, but with the Japanese television journalist who asked the questions of Trump. Takaichi also seemed unhappy with the reporter when she looked his way. She's like, bruh. They're doing their job, though, dude. That is part of your job as a journalist. I used to be a journalist, like I said earlier. The whole point is to be edgy and ask the edgy question. Ask the edgy questions. Unless you work for CNN, then you just suck the government propaganda's dick. But like, we got heroes like fucking Hunter S. Thompson, dude. That was my journalistic hero. He hung out with bikers for 2 or 3 years. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas literally went on a drug binge and like did somewhat reporting on American culture in general, you know. Motorcycle race, gambling. It's just a good book. It's honestly just an awesome book and like a good insight of what he thought of America during that time. Rum Diary was a good one. And there was some legit reporting he was doing during that time period in Puerto Rico. It was San Juan, Puerto Rico, I believe. Yeah. But yeah, the whole point of being a journalist is, for one, it's supposed to be a fun-ass job, which it usually is. And two, you're supposed to be edgy and ask the questions that nobody wants you to ask, you know? That's the whole point of being a fucking journalist. So, she can't, for her to look his way like, how dare you, shut up. It's like, sorry, he's doing his job, you know? The Prime Minister and her office have not commented on the episode. Some said they felt sympathy for Takaichi. I ain't gonna lie, I did. When I seen the footage, I was like, oh, I feel bad for her. You know, because she was no part of Pearl Harbor. She was probably a child, if even born yet. The Pearl Harbor incident was not the kind of thing that could be countered on the spot. Shiori Yamao, a former lawmaker, wrote on Facebook her calm attitude of letting it be said was also correct. So, there you have it. Trump acting a fucking fool, as usual. Is anyone surprised? Like I said, there's several articles I want to cover. I bought 2 papers here recently because it was a slower day at work, and I kind of scanned through the front page and see if there's anything worth a damn. And I found several articles in each one that I'm like, ooh, that would be good for a Conspiracy Corner episode, if not a Blue Pill podcast episode, because there's some true crime ones in there that'll be good. Some crazy shit goes on in Kentucky. But I love y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'm glad to be back in the saddle again. You know, which honestly, I wasn't gone too long, just a week. But life had just been crazy. Just not feeling well. Trying to burn down my trailer. My house. Yeah, my car fucking up, missing work, and I'm stressing about that because it never looks good when you miss work. But say a little prayer for me. I've been needing it here lately. I'm glad to be back. Like I said, if you donate, man, you get a sticker and a bookmark for now. That double thing is gonna only last for a little bit till I run out of stickers. Once the stickers are done, that's it. But yeah, next one after bookmarks will be trading cards. And let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Check out the Donald Trump playlist if you want to know more shit about Trump that I've covered, older episodes. What was I going to say? Oh, dude, people have been actually filling out the polls on Spotify, which I appreciate. On an episode when we have more time, we'll cover the polls and what people answered on certain questions. We'll go through that. But yeah, keep doing the polls on Spotify. Maybe comment on Spotify. I wish, honestly, people would use Spotify more, because it drives me nuts when people are like, oh, you can't find good conspiracy videos on YouTube. And it's like, so go to Rumble or Spotify, or, you know, which I need to upload more on Rumble. Like, I haven't uploaded on there in forever. I need to get more on top of that. But love y'all. Y'all have a good day.